The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. It was not a good night for the Texas Rangers last night. They lose to the Minnesota Twins. Kansas City beat Seattle on the day before, and already today in the books, Kansas City has beaten Seattle again, this time 7-5. So the magic number for Texas stays at 3. Kansas City is 2 back. And here's how Kansas City did it. Amos Otis, a solo shot in the first, is 25th, made it 1-0 Royals. Then Otis, a sac fly in the third, made it 2-0. Seattle tied the score at 2 in the fourth. Leon Roberts, a 2-run bomb to make it 2-2. But Kansas City went ahead for good, I think. Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. No, they didn't. In the fourth, Frank White, a fielder's choice, 3-2. Pete Lecoq, a 5-ball with a sacrifice to make it 4-2 after 5. And the sixth, the Mariners made one last push. Leroy Stanton doubled home Rupert Jones. Larry Milbourne singled home Stanton to make it 4-4, and Bob Stinson with an RBI single, 5-4. But the Rangers' hopes were short-lived. Frank White doubles home Clint Hurdle in the sixth to tie the score at 5. Steve Braun, a sac fly to make it 6-5 Kansas City, and George Brett with the insurance run, 7-5 Kansas City. They trail by 2. The Rangers need to win. They play the Twins next. As Retro Sports Network presents Pennant Chase 78. Tonight, for today, from Arlington, Texas, it's the Minnesota Twins and the Texas Rangers. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spreaker, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Ferguson Jenkins takes the bump for the Rangers against Roger Erickson as the Rangers try to salt the West away. Hello, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program, the first of 2 broadcasts for you on this Pennant Chase Friday afternoon. We are doing the 27th of September. You're going to get the American League West result, at least for the day now. You know that Kansas City has beaten Seattle. So right now, the magic number is still 3 for Texas, and the margin is 2 games. Texas is playing game 158. Minnesota, 82-76. They are playing game 159. This is the last home game of the year for the Rangers. They travel to Seattle to close the season. It's still all in the Rangers' hands, but they would feel a lot better if they win this one. For Minnesota, it's been a good year. They hung into it to the last week of the season, and they just kind of ran out of real estate. The Royals, you knew, would be here. The Rangers are not. For Ferguson, the Rangers are here, the Twins are not. The Rangers looking for win number 14 for Ferguson Jenkins, win number 90 overall. It's a peace of mind as they head to the Pacific Northwest. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, we will play Cleveland and Baltimore, and at that point, we'll tell you the score of the Yankee game. Toronto and the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees and Royals drew the perfect late-season foes. So we'll talk about the East tonight, but right now it's the West. Ferguson Jenkins and Roger Erickson on a gorgeous night in Arlington. So one of the biggest starts of Ferguson Jenkins' career is right now. He's got 1 left to go after this, so he's not done. The Rangers get 2 starts out of Jenkins and 1 more out of Matlack. And that just, if they win all 3, they win the division. Win the night, it's a big, big deal. He is 13-11 with a 3.26 ERA. He's a fastball pitcher at 86 and does not feature the ground ball or the fly ball. He has won 3 straight and has pitched against the Twins 3 times, but not beaten them yet. 17 innings, 20 hits, 6 runs all earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 11. He is 0-2, however, which just kind of goes to show that wins aren't always what they seem, and an ERA of 3.18. We'll put the screen back up there. In 28 starts, he's had 17 quality starts, a Tobin first prize, if you will. If you're looking at run support, he gets about 4.2 a game. His last time out, as my neck snapped, was against Seattle on the 22nd here at home. 6 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs, all earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 3. So in 237 2/3 innings, he's allowed 243 hits, 27 home runs, 93 total, 86 earned. He's walked 40 and struck out 162. His last 2 starts have not been good. 12 earned runs in 14 innings. Doesn't take a math major to figure out that that's close to a 9 ERA. He last played against the Twins on the 24th of August. 3 runs over 7 1/3 and a loss. Yeah, it's not been pretty for Fergie. The Rangers starting to sweat. But it's amazing what one win can do for you this time of year. The lineup that Minnesota puts out there: Mike Cubbage will lead off at third. Hoskin Powell in right field will bat second. Roy Smalley at short will play third. Disco Dan Ford in center will clean up. Glenn Adams, the DH, will bat fifth. Butch Weiniger will catch and bat sixth. Craig Cusick filling in for Rod Carew at first. He'll go seventh. Rich Childs, in left will bat eighth. And Rob Wilfong, finally healthy again, at second base, will bat ninth. For the Rangers, Al Oliver, 5 and 7 in left. Juan Beniquez, a 9 and 7 in right. Richie Ziska, 4 and 4 in center rather. Ziska, 4 and 4 in right. Jim Mason is a 3 and third. Was there like no good third baseman outside of Nettles in the American League? Toby Harrah is a 4 at short. Bump Wills is a 7 at second. Mike Jorgensen, a 4 in right. Bobby Bonds, by the way, the DH for the Rangers. And Sundberg is a 10 and a 9 behind the plate. Jenkins an 8 and 9.86 fielding percentage. This place is packed because if there is another game in 1978 for the Rangers at home, it's game 1 of the ALCS. But right now, they got to take care of business. Cubbage steps in at 298, 9 homers, and 66 RBI. Tribe fan, it's fall up here. It's like 58 degrees. Drinking a warm coffee right now. So Jenkins is ready, and so are we. Good afternoon. We play 2 today. Orioles and Indians tonight. Pitch to Cubbage. Ball 4. So Cubbage on with a leadoff walk on a 3-0 high and tight, and Jenkins is a bit well strung. Here's Powell at 267, 3 homers and 28 RBI. National League is set. Dodgers and Phils. We'll start in Philadelphia. We're thinking a week from Sunday. Up the middle, Wills. Harrah for 1. Over to Jorgensen. That should be 2. And that will settle the nerves of Ferguson Jenkins. It's hard to believe because of how the playoffs work now. Is Ferguson Jenkins the best pitcher never to pitch in a playoff game? The Phillies never made it when he was there. The Cubs never made it when he was there. And the Rangers and Red Sox never made it when he was there. And here's a guy that's a legitimate Hall of Famer. Here's Smalley. 301, 14 homers, and 89 RBI. Both playoff series, once we know who they are, should be good. And yep, the Dodgers pitching did not do what you thought they would do in the regular season, but because we base everything on real stats, they could just shut down the Phillies. Remember, they beat them in 4 in real life. Pitch to Smalley is a fly ball to left. Oliver in the corner makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits. A double play helped after half an inning. Minnesota nothing. Here comes Texas. So Roger Erickson one of the big surprises, I think, for Minnesota this year, although he's come close to what he did in real life. 16-16 with an ERA of 4.20. He's only 21, like that matters here. Against the Rangers, he's made 3 starts, 25 innings, 22 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned. He has walked 5 and struck out 19, so good numbers. 1-2 with an ERA of 3.24. He is a fastball pitcher at 87 and a standard pitcher. His last start was against the Royals on the 23rd, his 16th win of the year. 9 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 2. So for Erickson, 285 and a third innings, 294 hits, 147 runs, 23 dingers, 133 earned runs, 91 walks, and 134 strikeouts. And yes, I will take a Coke Zero with that order of fries. Here's a lineup for Texas. Bobby Bonds will lead off as the DH. Juan Beniquez in center will bat second. Al Oliver will hit third and play left. Richie Zisk cleans up in right. Toby Harrah at short will bat fifth. Bump Wills at second will bat sixth, although with Bonds' speed that should be okay. Mike Jorgensen will play first and bat seventh. The rain delay, is he hurt? Is it in the lineup? Jim Sundberg behind the plate will bat eighth, and Jim Mason at third will go ninth. Jenkins threw all of 13 pitches in the first. Defensively for the Twins, and they are doing their best to make this a game that counts. Rich Childs is a 6-5 in left. Dan Ford a 4-5 in center. And Hoskin Powell is 6-6 in right. Jamie makes a good point I'll get to in a second. Mike Cubbage a 5 at third. Roy Smalley an 8 at short. Rob Wilfong a 5 at second. And Greg Cusick a 3 at first. And Weiniger a 7 and an 8 behind the plate. Erickson an 8 on the mound and a 9.17 fielding percentage. Jenkins, and I would agree with Jamie here, by far has to be the best pitcher never to pitch in the postseason, at least after 69, once divisional play came in. He can think of Mark Langston, a very good pitcher, and also pitched in a game 163. He pitched that game against Randy Johnson in 95 in Seattle, which was kind of like old home week. But no, he's definitely not in Jenkins' class. And remember, Randy Johnson won that game, and the Mariners won the division. But if California hadn't choked away a 10-game lead down the stretch, that game wouldn't have mattered. Wind blowing in from left center at 11, about where those out-of-town scoreboard is. Although I think in 78 they had the Howdy board, right? Bobby Bonds at 266. 24 homers since being traded from the White Sox. And 83 RBI. Wilbur Wood never appeared in the postseason. I don't think Wilbur was as good as Jenkins, though. A good pitcher. But I wouldn't put into that category. Pitch to Bonds is a long drive to left. Back goes Childs. It's 1-0 Texas. And so that will make the medicine go down a bit smoother. His 25th with the Rangers, his first against the Twins. And there it goes. Childs ran out of real estate. 1-0 Texas. Yeah, is he in the Hall of Fame? One of the best knuckleballers. Juan Beniquez at 236, 10 homers and 43 RBI. If the Rangers can cut the magic number to 2 going to Seattle, it just makes their job so much easier. Pitch to Juan is a ground ball, base hit right side. Wilfong got a late jump. And this is exactly the start the Rangers need. Here's Oliver. 323, 15 homers, 86 RBI. Al's kind of in that cat. No, he would have played in the World Series in '71, didn't he? Going to say he's in that caliber, one of the best players to not have a lot of playoff history. Pitch to Al. Got away from Weiniger, and Beniquez goes to second. So a full count now. And as far as those wearing Stetsons, Erickson has found the script. Full count. Erickson deals to short. Smalley. They get Beniquez caught in a rundown. Oliver will reach. It goes 6-4-5-4. No! He got back. Beniquez got around the tag from Wilfong. Would you believe that? It was hit right on the button to Smalley. He could have taken the sure out in Oliver. Beniquez was halfway to third. Smalley flipped it to Wilfong. Wilfong over to Cubbage. And then Cubbage, I guess he double punt. And Beniquez got back. My goodness gracious. Here's this. 273, 22 homers, 86 RBI. We call that in the business Ron has to cover up for his own mistake. Pitch to Zisk is popped up. Smalley, they call the infield fly, 1 out. Toby Harrah at 238. 12 homers, 55 RBI. Billy Williams make it with Oakland? Ernie Banks and Ron Santo never in the postseason. Of course, they played their entire career in Chicago. And they got DeRochered in '69. So runners on first and second. Pitch to Harrah. Ball 4. So the Rangers have them loaded. And here's Bump Wills. Oh, yeah, Williams did get one in Oakland then. He must have gotten a ring unless he retired. Poor guy retired in '71. Wills at 235, 13 homers, and 48 RBI. He's got a chance to bring home 2, and if he puts one down in the corner, Harrah can score all the way from first. Struck him out. He got him on an 0-2 looking, so there's 2 out. For Mike Jorgensen at 157, no homers and 2 RBI. Big out there. Runners will be going. Ball 4. So Jorgensen draws the bases loaded. What? Beniquez will score from third, and it's 2-0 Texas. And now you got a good one at the plate in Jim Sundberg. 280, 4 homers, and 47 RBI. First to 2 today on the channel. Orioles and Indians from Baltimore at 7 Eastern. Pitch from Sundberg. Up the middle, Erickson throws to Cusick. And that will retire the side. But the Rangers, 2 runs, 2 hits, they leave them loaded. After 1, 2-0 Texas. I assume the first time was the '62 Giants. For Gaylord Perry, making the postseason twice. Second time was when? He played for everybody after a while. Dan Ford leads off the second, 288, 14 homers, and 100 RBI, 71 for the Giants. Pitch to Dan. There's a line drive to Mason, 1 out. They lost to the Pirates that year. Glenn Adams, 238, 8 homers, and 50 RBI. Right back to Fergie, 2 out. Here's Weiniger, 214, 5 homers, and 32 RBI. Got him! Swung on and missed. And so the Fergie has retired the first 6 men he's faced after an inning and a half. 2-0 Texas. So Mason, Bonds, and Beniquez to face Erickson. Mason at 204. He's jarred 4 doubles and driven in 4. Erickson's pitch. Wilfong over to first, 1 out. So the first 9 Not so neat and tidy for Roger. 47 pitches. An inning in the third. 2 hits. The home run to Bonds that started the ball game. He walked 2 and struck out 1. Both the runs earned. A guy in the Texas lineup that played while never played in the postseason. Yeah. Yep. See, I can do the puns too, okay? I'm assuming that Oliver played in 71. Did Bonds never make the postseason? Oh, Toby Harrah. Okay. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Did Bobby... Bobby must have made the postseason with the Giants. Anyway, Bonds homered his first time up. Into left center, Ford, 2 out. Juan Beniquez singled his first time up and scored. Harrah, yep, and I believe Harrah was the last Washington Senator to play, if I remember correctly, too. Of course, the expansion sends. Beniquez singled his first time up into left field. Back goes Childs. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. Rangers go in order in the second. That is true. Okay. Texas 2, Minnesota nothing. That's not what I meant to do. All right. With the caveat that New York, Baltimore, and Milwaukee have not played, because we'll do them tonight. Here is an updated look at the standings. Everybody else has played. The Dodgers beat the Reds, so the Dodgers are going to win that division by a comfortable margin. Philadelphia loses, they don't care. Pittsburgh won, it's over, it doesn't matter. In the West, we told you Kansas City has won 4 straight. They are 2 back. They have 3 games to play. Texas has 4 games to play after this, all in Seattle. Seattle, by the way, not a bad home team, but if Texas only needs to win 2, they are sitting pretty in luck. If you look at the pitching here, Texas has only given up 628 runs, and the Yankees 626. So Yankees, Toronto, will play, and Milwaukee, California, will be played just before we go on at 7. And then you'll watch Baltimore and Cleveland. And Todd and Tribe fan, would you ever believe in a million years, because Cleveland goes to New York for the weekend, that the Indians would decide who won the American League East? I almost said Fred Cusick. Great guy, wrong sport. Craig Cusick at 199, no homers and 13 RBI. And he hits this one into right in the foul territory. Ziskel on the line, 1 out. Here's Childs at 276, 2 homers and 23 RBI. Right back up the box. Jenkins to first, 2 out. And so here's Wilfong at 313, 1 homer and 28 RBI. Tribe fan tells us that Toby was the third baseman when Lenny Barker threw that perfect game. Maybe the most unlikely pitcher to throw a perfect game until Dallas Braden did it for Oakland. The Tribe almost cost the Yanks a victory the other night. The Yankees have gained 4 games on Baltimore in the last week. Up the middle, a base hit. Of course, Ron Hassey was behind the plate. How you doing, Glenn? Here's Cubbage. He walked his first time up. Jenkins, 28 pitches through 9 batters, 2 2/3 innings. That was the first hit of the ball game. A walk and a strikeout. Up the middle, Wills over to Jorgensen, and that is the inning. No runs, a hit, they leave a runner on. We go to the bottom of the third. The Rangers 2, Minnesota nothing. So Oliver, Zisk, and Harrah here in the third. Oliver 0 for 1. to Smalley, over to Cusick, 1 out. So here's Richie. Zisk is 0 for 1. Erickson, they're working him hard. Toby Harrah was traded to the Indians for Buddy Bell. Neither made the postseason. Bell had a decent chance with the Reds, and you kind of wonder if Pete Rose wasn't working so hard to make sure he won his bets as a manager, whether they would have made it. Or did Rose actually get that team to overperform? 80,000 people claim to have been there. It's kind of like with any other major moment. Oh, yeah, I was there. Bull, you fell asleep with it on the radio. It was more like 10,000, if that. Pitch to Zisk. Here's a slow roller to Cubbage over to first, and Richie beat it out. So that was a bang-banger, and Zisk got a jump on it. It'll bring up Harrah, who walked his first time up. 1 out. 2-0 Rangers here in the third. Pitch to Toby. Base hit right field. Powell will pick it up. Zisk will go to third, and the Rangers are knocking on the door again. Bump Wills struck out with the bases loaded. Won't this time. Into left center. Back goes Ford. Zisk will tag. Zisk will score. 3-0 Rangers. Yeah, and Bell went on to some great years after that trade. Bell was a good third baseman. And the Rangers really needed a third baseman. You see Jim Mason and Kurt Bevacqua. Might have colorful characters and stuff, but they were not contending for Gold Gloves. Here's Jorgensen. He walked home a run in the first. Harrah, not going to steal here. He does have 27 on the year, and if the Rangers do win the division like we think they will, they're going to play fits with whoever comes out of the East because they have a lot of speed. Pitch to Jorgensen, ball 4. So, yeah, Bevacqua could blow bubbles. And Tommy Lasorda's greatest rant was about Kurt Bevacqua. Here's Sundberg, he's 0 for 1. 2 out. Runners on first and second, 3-0 Texas. Weiniger and Erickson have a few words. Here's the pitch to Sundberg. To third, Cubbage to Wilfong, and that will be the inning. But the Rangers get a big run on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the 4th, 3-0 Texas. How you doing, Lorenzo? So as Powell steps to the plate, he's 0 for 1. He grounded into that big double play. That really changed the complexion of the game. So, we'll tell you now that I'll be doing the Phillies in games 1 and 2 of the NLCS, and then the Dodgers the rest of the way. And in the American League, I'll be doing the East for games 1 and 2, and the Western champion, the Western champion in games 1 and 2, and the Eastern champion in 3, 4, and 5. But the one difference, if you're not familiar with how we did things last year, I will be yanking pitchers for the computer team because you just never know. So that's that for that. Powell, as I said, grounded into a double play. Dodgers won their game today. Philly lost. Base hit right side. Zisk will pick it up. And that's the second hit for the Twins. Here's Smalley. He's 0 for 1. Yeah, you got to manage them different. And even in the playoff folder, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do a special LCS folder and a special World Series folder. It just doesn't... That one's hard to simulate. And we still haven't figured it out. I'll sit down there over the weekend and figure out who the 3 starters will be. Well, I know who the 3 starters will be. It's Houghton Christensen in Game 1, Welch, Ruthven in Game 2, and Carlton Sutton in Game 3. Game 4, your guess is as good as mine. Pitch to Smalley, struck him out. So 1 out for Ford, who's sitting there on a 16-game hitting streak. Right now, you could probably pencil in Jim Cott. We're stuffing Jim Longborg in a locker. If he's pitching against the Dodgers, it's over. It better be, because Jim is just not so good in 78. The Dodgers have options. They could go with Armani. Is Bystrom on that 78 team? It's Brewster, Warren Brewster. And no, he never smiles. The Dodgers could use Tommy John. If we're allowed to go on short rest, and if they need it, we obviously would go with Bert Hooton in Game 4. You have Doug Rauch if you need a lefty. And Rick Rhoden. Rhoden, I think, is probably the best candidate to be in the pen. And if you need a situation where you need some pitchers against, to face lefties, then that's when you would use Rauch. But it'll be Rauch or John, I would think. Pitch to Ford. There's a fly ball to left. Oliver, and that will hit the wall. Oliver has it. Ford will stop at second. Then Powell's going to try and score. Oliver goes to Hara to throw to Sundberg. Not in time. It was close. It's 3-1. So 1 out for Adams, who's 0 for 1. Pitch to Glenn. There's a fly ball to right. Zisk in the corner. 2 out. Ford will hold at second. For Weiniger. Ballpark playing big here in Arlington. -6 for the lefties, average-wise. Righties flat at 0. Home runs, -13 for the lefties, -14 for the righties. It was a good slide. I haven't looked at the Royals to see who I would use if they get in there. Yep, Bystrom was a late season call. Appachatter in midlife, how are you? Went 5-0 down the stretch as the Phillies held off the Expos. The Yankees will depend, if they win, on whether or not there's a game 163. If it is Texas and New York, then you would get in Game 1, provided there's no 163, a rematch of opening day. And I wondered if that's ever happened before in an LCS. It would be John Matlack for the Rangers and Ron Guidry for the Yankees. And it would be right here in Texas. Pitch to Weiniger. Little ground ball to Hara. Over to first for the out. And that will retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Bottom 4. Well, Dent couldn't play Texas in a 163. Different divisions. But then, yes, the entire state of Texas would have a fornicating name for Bucky. Or Russell. Didn't Dent end up in Texas anyway? Work, listen, and chat. That's why we do this. So we start the bottom of the 4th. Jim Mason is 0 for 1. Up the middle, Wilfong behind the bag, over to first, 1 out. Bobby Bonds is 1 for 2. He led off the ball game with a home run. Erickson at 87 pitches through 18 batters. 3 1/3, 4 hits, a home run. That was to Bonds. He's walked 3 and struck out 1. Not even that repaired his reputation in my eyes. Did he go over with Mickey? Pitch to Bonds. There's a fly ball left field. Childs. 2 out for Benitez. 1 for 2. Singled and scored. That came in the 1st. Ricky, how you doing? Now I got to say nice things about the Yankees. Maybe just not about Lord Voldemort. So, we'll do the Orioles and Indians tonight. We'll tell you how the Yankees did against the Blue Jays and how Milwaukee did against California. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Pitch to Benitez. Struck him out. So that's A swing and a miss, and so that will retire before. I'm being nice to you today. Don't give me a hard time there, Keeler. We go to the fifth. No runs, no hits, and no errors. Texas 3. Okay, I definitely will. Texas 3, Minnesota 1. Don't expect me to be nice to them if they make the playoffs, okay? So for the Yankees, as Cusick takes to the plate, he's 0 for 1. If it is no 163, as I said, it would be Guidry in Game 1. And if there is a 163 at Yankee Stadium against Baltimore, it would be Figueroa in Game 1, and that would be when you would say a few novenas if you're from Staten Island. Pitch to Cusick is a base hit right side. That gets down in front of Zisk. Richie didn't look at that one right off the bat. And here's Childs. Childs is 0 for 1. And there's a liner that's going to go all the way to the wall and left. Cusick will hold it third. Oliver, again, another bad jump. And the tying run is on second. Yes, just know whatever pitching change you make will get... Yes, exactly. Exactly. So here's Wilfong, who's 1 for 1. Hara. Only play is to first. Cusick scores. It's 3-2. So Childs remains on second. Cubbage at the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. 18 batters deep for Fergie. 4 1/3 innings, 64 pitches, 5 hits. Both runs are earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. You don't have to watch Lorenzo. Pitch to Cubbage. To short, Hara. Now they're going to get Childs in a run down. Wills. Will they get him? This time they do. So this time the rundown works, and Wills just ran right with him. There was no throw to base, and it goes 6-4 on the tag. I guess you call that a fielder's choice, don't you? So Cubbage on first, 2 out for Hoskin Powell, who has singled and scored. That came in the 4th. Pitch to Powell is popped up. Sundberg will make the catch, and we go to the commercial break. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. Halfway home, 3-2 Texas. I suppose it is if you're picking off a runner. If you get a runner in a pickle, yeah, that would be a fielder's choice. But if it's a 6-3, oh, don't be technical. We'll be back in a moment. So Texas got 3 up early. Bobby Bonds a solo shot in the first to make it 1-0. Jorgensen walked to score Benitez with the bases loaded, 2-0 after 1. Bump Wells a sac fly made it 3-0 after 3. And then the Twins have come back a bit. Dan Ford doubled. Now it's a 17-game hitting streak. Texas 3, Minnesota 1. In the 5th, Rob Wilfong with the ground ball. Fielder's choice to make it 3-2. So Roger Erickson, 96 pitches through 4. So we're going to get in that Twins bullpen off early. 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. And Ferguson Jenkins, a 5-hitter through 5. 2 runs, both earned. Pitch count-wise, Jenkins is doing just fine. And if they can get it into the 8th, you got Reggie Cleveland. This is the last scheduled home game for the Rangers. So here's Oliver. He is 0 for 2. They go to Seattle for 4 starting tomorrow. I have no idea what we're showing you tomorrow. But there will be at least one game at noon Eastern. And we don't show the bad teams throughout the year. And so who are we going with? You could see as many as 4 Seattle Mariners games to close out the replay. Imagine that. I don't even have the ballpark done up. Oh, wait, I do, I think. I'll have to double check. I forget who Kansas City plays. Oliver, as I said, is 0 for 2. Pitch from Erickson. There's a ground ball base hit right side. Powell got the bad jump, and that's exactly what the Rangers needed. Here's Zisk. He is 1 for 2. He is singled and scored. Ricky's doing 61. You know what? We'll take a look because Rice has 58, 56, 57 homers. Got a chance to catch Maris. I forgot. We'll take a look after the game. I've ripped the Red Sox enough, I think. And gosh darn it, I'm going to pick a year they were semi-successful so I can feature them every once in a while. Here's Zisk. We told you he singled and scored. Erickson throws to first. Oliver back. You get the Red Sox a lot come in January. There's a fly pop-up. Will Fong on the grass. 1 out for Hara, who is singled and walked. Not sure anyone's going to give you trouble as the Yankees rookie in 61. Tigers pitching was their weakness. They could hit. And I bet the Dodgers, Giants, and the Reds battle pretty well. Late May and Maris is a homer ahead of pace, but Mantle hitting 387. When's Mantle get hurt? Late in the year. Well, no, I mean, I've always been a Red Sox fan. Trust me, we're going to take a couple days off once this is all settled. Pitch, throw to first. Oliver's back again. I don't know why they're worried about Oliver. 3-2, bottom 5. Texas. Slow roller to Cubbage. He makes a stop. He gets Oliver at second. Over to first. Do they? Yes, they do. A double play. 5, 4, 3. Now you know why Harry drank so much. Tigers up by a game over the Yankees, Ricky says. Twins 2.5 back. First year in Minneapolis or Bloomington. Reds, Giants, and Phillies separated by 3.5 through late May. Okay. Here's Smalley. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch from Jenkins. Struck him out. Mark it on the calendar. Well, that would be the last day of the year. Orioles, Tigers. Stegman makes the final start. Orioles are hoping that game means something to them. Here's Ford. 1 for 2, a double, and an RBI. Struck him out. That's 4 for Jenkins, and he finally looks like he's doing a little bit better. Here's Adams. He's 0 for 2. To first, Jorgensen has it for the out. And so the Twins go in order. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Postseason always goes through Stegman. 3-2 Texas. So they play for a bunt. Wills has an RBI and a strikeout. He's 0 for 1. Yeah, you told me this yesterday. Seaver gave up 3 homers, of course, in the Dodgers clincher. He did it once in 78, and that was on opening day against the Astros of all teams. You can understand the Dodgers. But to Houston at Riverfront? Pitch to Wills. There's a fly ball to center. Ford, 1 out. So here's Jorgensen. He has walked twice, and one of those walked in a run. So he has yet to take the bat off the shoulder. Will this time. Ground ball. Wilfong behind the bag. Over to first. 2 out. Weininger, Cusick, and Childs in the 7th for Minnesota. Sundberg 0 for 2. Smalley to Cusick. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 7th. Texas 3, Minnesota 2. No, I think it was just once that year. Lorenzo, this is your last warning. Your next shot, you're gone. So Weininger is 0 for 2. Palmer never did allow a grand slam, which is an absolutely amazing statistics. Ground ball to Wills. Behind the bag. Great stop. Over to first. 1 out. So Jenkins, warning. Cusick 1 for 2 with a run scored. Jenkins has, 38 pitches. Maybe he goes in the 9th. Yep. Pitch to Cusick. He tries to bunt his way on. Really? Oh, it's foul tipped. Two and two the count. Got him on the inside corner looking at 85. And so there's 2 out. Here's Rich Childs. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Pitched from Rich. Here's a line drive to third. Stretch time. 3-2 Rangers. So the Rangers could use a run here just to give them a little bit of room as we go down the stretch. Jim Mason is 0 for 2. Ground ball to third. Cubbage over to first. 1 out. And that'll do it. Not Don, but John Sutton. Doesn't even look like Don. In real life, he didn't have a decision in 17 starting games. He's 4-1 with a save and a .394 ERA. Hit the wrong button. Fastball pitcher at 86 and a ground ball pitcher. Again, no, he hasn't faced Texas. He last pitched on the 3rd, so he's had 3 weeks rest. 1 inning against the Indians, and he struck out 2. 29 and 2/3 innings, 34 hits. 4 home runs allowed, 16 runs, 13 earned, 5 walks, and 16 strikeouts. So 1 out for Bobby Bonds, who's 1 for 3. He homered to start the ball game. And this time around, he sends it to left Childs, 1 out. Yeah, he should be sharp with 3 weeks rest, shouldn't he? Here's Benitez. He's 1 for 3. He has singled, struck out, and scored. Both teams have only have 5 hits. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've left 3 on. Rangers 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've left 5 on. Ball 4. We'll see how sharp this dull knife is. Although 3.45 ERA in real life is pretty good. It's one of those rare cases where a middle reliever actually was pitched effectively. Here's Oliver. He's 1 for 3. Throw to first. Beniquez has been picked off. How about that? Well. And so, yep, you're pretty sharp when you only have to face one batter to get 2 outs. Or 2 batters to get 2 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 8th, 3-2 Texas. So here's Wilfong, 1 for 2. He is singled and driven in a run. Got him! 1-2, swung on and missed. Yeah, it is, actually. So that's the 6th strikeout for Jenkins. And here's Cubbage, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. 27 batters deep for Fergie. 108 pitches. 7 1/3 innings. 5 hits. 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. Right back to Fergie. Over to first. 2 out. For Powell, who's 1 for 3. Has grounded into a double play, and that looms large. That came in the first. And a run scored. Right back to Jenkins, and that will retire the side. Fergie still has 18 pitches maybe to go. If they don't need to use Reggie Cleveland, they can use him in Seattle. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-2 Texas. Here's Oliver, 1 for 3. He singled. This time he sends one deep into right center, but Ford is there, 1 out. So Zisk, 1 for 3, has singled and scored. Right back up the box, Cusick, 2 out. So for the Twins, Smalley, Ford, and Adams. In the 9th, and if we get to need a bottom of the 9th, well, let's see what Hara does first. 1 for 2 with a walk. That's a hard ground ball to first. Cusick takes it to the bag, and that will retire the side. We go to the 9th. Texas 3 outs away from a magic number of 2. So Smalley 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Jenkins has fanned 6 times. That's fanned 6, rather. 5 hits. Smalley 0 for 3. Up the middle, Beniquez 1 out. And they may be starting to breathe a sigh of relief here in Arlington. Here's Ford. 1 for 3. Has doubled, drove home his 101st of the year, and struck out. To Hara, over to Jorgensen, 2 out. So the Rangers needed a win. And Glenn Adams is the last chance for the Twins. He's 0 for 3. Rangers 1 out away from a 91 season. That would be the first time in their history they've done that. And a magic number of 2. Pitch to Adams. Not yet. Liner in the right center. And Willie Norwood's going to pinch run. So Norwood, not a threat to steal, but has good speed on the base path. Let's see what they do with Weiniger, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Sundberg and Jenkins change around the signs. Pitch to Weiniger, and that's going to drop. So Norwood will go to third, and Rod Carew is going to pinch run at first. He would be the go-ahead run. Craig Cusick, who was 1 for 3, a strikeout, and a run scored. That 1 hit was a single. So Jenkins trying to keep this a 3-2 ball game. And Jose Morales will pinch hit. So Morales at 3:33 a homer, and 29 RBI. Yeah, let's lose Carew's bet to pinch running. Well, if they continue the game, he would play first. Fergie appears okay. The pitch to Morales. Tejera, and the magic number is 2. The Rangers snapped the losing streak, and they win today 3-2. So 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Texas. 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for Minnesota. 9 innings for Jenkins. Bobby Bonds, by the way, our digitalized player of the game. That home run in the first was all they needed. That's what was the difference. 9 innings for Fergie, 7 hits, 2 runs, all earned. He walked 1 and struck out 6 in 129 pitches. Erickson falls to 16 and 17, 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. A home run, he walked 3 and struck out 2. And so the magic number is, come on, update, 2. There we go. And the Royals, with 3 games left, are 2.5 back. So, the only 3 games we've not played, we'll play tonight. Blue Jays, Yankees, Cleveland, Baltimore, which is what you'll see, and Milwaukee, California. And I think Milwaukee's elimination number is pretty close because they're 3.5 back with 4 to play. So Milwaukee needs a lot of help. All right, Pittsburgh beats Chicago 5-1. Jerry Rice goes to 6-6. Ray Burris falls to 6-16. Mike Vail 4-4. Montreal beat Philadelphia 1-0. Ross Grimsley, 19-game winner in the replay. How about that? Larry Christensen, Game 1 starter for Philadelphia, 17-10. Dell Unser, 3-4 with a double. Larry Bowa, by the way, has a 20-game hitting streak. Dodgers beat the Reds behind Don Sutton, 3-0. Can't tell you anything else about that game. Lee Lacy, 1-4 with a triple. Mario Soto loses his only start of the year. Houston beats Atlanta 4-3. Kenny Forsch goes to 5-4. Frank LaCourte, future Dodger pitcher, takes a lot. I didn't realize he was with Atlanta. Bruce Bochy, 3-4, 2 RBI and 2 doubles. Tigers beat the Red Sox 5-0. Louis Tiant falls to 13-14. Milt Wilcox gets the win, 14-10. Ron LaFleur, 2-4 with a double and a stolen base. Kansas City, we told you earlier, beat Seattle 7-5. But as you know, Texas has won, so Kansas City gains no ground. Splittorff 17-17. McLaughlin 6-6. Amos Otis, his 25th of the year, he drove in 2. San Francisco beats San Diego 11-1. Bob Nepper 18-13. Rasmussen falls to 9-10. Madlock 5 RBI and his 24th of the year. All right, the last weekend. Yep. I don't know what we're showing. We were going to show Pittsburgh-Philadelphia doubleheader. So here's what matters left. Cleveland, New York, Baltimore at Detroit, Texas, Seattle, and Minnesota, Kansas City. So those are the series that we will be focusing on the rest of the way. Tomorrow, the last Thursday of the year, we will probably do just one game. And it will probably be, well, let's see what happens tonight. The Yankees, I think, here, this button. They can't clinch. Milwaukee's elimination number is 3. So Texas can clinch as early as Friday. And so that would be Sunday. So there is a live look at the standings. And here's the American League leaders. Rice, 56 homers. He would need 5 over the weekend to tie Maris. 174 runs batted in. Can you imagine that? And so Serum, Guidry, and Madlack in a mad dash for the Cy. Even Sorensen at 24-8, but I think he's out of starts. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ron Juckett, and we'll talk to you tonight at 7 for the Orioles and the Indians.